Are you a first-time home buyer, nervous about the home buying process, don't really know what to expect? Listen, I've got our summer intern, Nate Webb, with us, ready to give you the whole process from start to finish. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hunter Bowling here with the HP Mortgage team powered by Edge Home Finance. And I am ecstatic to have our summer intern with us today, Nate Webb. Nate, welcome to the YouTube channel.
Thank you so much, Hunter. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, Nate's been with us now for about 6 weeks. Just graduated from ACU, is learning and growing, and might be crazy enough to possibly get into the mortgage industry one day. So, Nate, glad to have you this summer and grateful for you to be a part of it. So,
Thank you,
Nate, let's
Hunter.
talk a little bit about kind of some of the things. One of the major pieces, especially as a recent college graduate, is you might be thinking about yourself, but your friends as well might be thinking about buying a house. Did you know anything about the process 6 weeks ago about buying a house?
No, not at all. It was all very new to me. It was kind of made me very nervous, but coming in, working under you, you really helped me out and really helped me understand the process, how it all goes, how it all works. And now I feel decently comfortable with it. So yeah.
Yeah, we kind of threw you into the fire hose the first 6 weeks of an
Yeah, it was
internship.
great.
So one of the projects that Nate had, for you that don't know, is he really had a home buying guide for first time home buyers. That's one of the things that he wanted to do to be able to kind of help educate. And we had a big event a couple of weeks ago, about 400 people in attendance, and Nate's walking around sending out his home buyer guide to help some of the roofers and insurance agents that were in the room that have never bought a house yet. So super proud of him, excited to be a part of it. Nate, let's jump in and kind of get going. So, for those of you who don't know, again, my name is Hunter Bowling. I'm the team lead and mortgage broker with the HP Mortgage team, as well as TV host with American Dream TV. We are veteran mortgage advisors. We are fully licensed and approved. If you are a veteran, VA home loans are our specialty, and we would love to take care of you. So, let's jump right in right now. Nate, here we go, my friend. Process and overview. So let's talk a little bit about the process of home buying. If I was a first time home buyer right now, where should we start before even looking at houses or do anything like on Zillow, looking at houses there?
Yeah, so first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna send in you're gonna go find a independent broker or with your realtor, and you're gonna send in a pre-approval. This will be a and then from there you're going to kind of go through the whole process of what you're going to be wanting to do. This process overview is simply just kind of what we're going to be going over, kind of each step we're going to be going over in this process. We go from pre-approval to defining your needs and wants, finding a real estate agent, starting your house hunting, making an offer, all the way to after closing and living in your house. So we'll start on this next page here. And yeah, so here is the pre-approval. So basically on this page, you are going to be gathering some information, making a financial assessment. This includes your credit score, finding kind of pulling from your uh, um, uh, forget what they're called. Uh,
Yeah, pretty basic when we just kind of look over the pre-approval, right? Credit,
right.
income, assets. We look at those three things to make sure, when you're going in to buy your house, hey, this is what we're looking for. Your debt to income ratio, right? Your credit score,
Yeah,
as
it's
well as
going
your
to
assets.
be your assets, your income, expenses, debts, and savings. And then From there, you're going to choose a lender and oh, credit bureaus. That's what I was drawing a blank on that name. You're going to get your credit score from the average of all three credit bureaus. So you're going to get that, and then you're going to gather financial documents, pay stubs, tax returns, bank statements, stuff like that. You're going to calculate your budget to including your down payment and closing costs. It's pretty super simple. From there, you are going to choose a lender. This would be uh, basically where you just research and compare lenders, apply for pre-approval and obtain a pre-approval letter. This would be like going through Hunter. He does all those pre-approvals and make sure being an independent broker, he's doing all that stuff. And basically, you're submitting in your first few steps of the home buying process, the paperwork, if you will. So.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point. So let's stop there before we go anything further. Just because you've used the word now two or three times, independent mortgage broker, right? Which is now something the lingo you've learned over the last 6 weeks. But for the consumer, right? They don't likely know what an independent mortgage broker is. So let's talk about a little bit. What are the differences that you've learned between retail lending and wholesale lending? In the two major differences on how the consumer can, save money, find better options, things like that.
Well, I think whenever you're going through, you're going to be paying higher rates if you go through like a big corporation like Mr. Cooper or play big corporations like that. Whereas if you were to go with Hunter's everything he's done, he's super true to his word. Independent brokers, they're going to be able to find those lower rates and beat the market, if you will. So that's what I found with Hunter, and I honestly I wouldn't know why you would go through any big corporation like Mr. Cooper or some of the big time kind of monopolies or duopolies, if you will, that kind of run this business. All these independent brokers are able to beat the market, and there's so much more for the customer. There, you can the communication's so much more clear. Hunter, if the customer has a question or is in dire need of assistance, Hunter's always there. He's there to, from the very start. If even if somebody's going through a process with a big corporation or something's not right uh and they need to close immediately, Hunter is able to close in a much shorter time than some of those big corporations.
I did
We were
not
talking
pay
about.
him to say this, people. So if you're
I
watching or
know.
listening,
No,
he
this
has
is
not
everything
been
I've
paid to
gathered
say any of this.
in my internship. This is everything I've gathered, and kind of the reason why I wanted to get into this because I wanted to understand like how are you doing this? But it's simply because he controls where he has time to work and what he's working on, and he's able to do closings a lot faster than anything,
Yeah.
any big
And
corporation for sure.
and this is one of the slides that you had threw in here on your presentation was talking about the differences, right? The biggest piece on the retail side was all this overhead, right? Underwriting and
Hmm.
processors, corporate pay, VP overrides, branch managers, buildings, wholesale. Everybody in mortgage lending starts here at wholesale, right? And then they add all these fees on top. So if you're the consumer and you're going through this retail company, Mr. Cooper, Rocket Mortgage, Fairway, Guild, whoever it is, they have this overhead to pay. And the best question I can ask you, Nate, is who is ultimately paying for these fees?
Right, yeah. And whereas for you, you're not having to pay those fees. I mean, you have a few people on your team, but it's much more condensed. They're having to pay all these employees, if you will, and that can be very costly and expensive. Whereas, you're getting by with just the minimum, but everybody's that's the few people that are working for you know exactly what they're doing, and everything um
Cost
is
effective.
cost effective and for
Yeah,
the customer especially. Like
I
like
totally agree. And that's the whole
time
reason the
is
wholesale's grown, right?
right,
Is you
right.
cut out the overhead. You need all you need is what we use, right?
Mhm.
And that's to make sure the client continues to get the best rate and fees at the level. So I love it. Nate, good stuff, my friend. Let's keep digging in. Okay, so that was kind of start the process, right? Now, first phone call, Nate, I call you, say, hey, I want to talk about some home buying options and hear my goals. What's kind of that first thing that you guys do and or that we do as a team when talking to the consumer in that first phone call?
So in that process, we're going to find defining your needs and wants, as seen on this PowerPoint. We're listing the priorities, the location, where you're wanting to work, where what schools and amenities are in proximity to you. Basically, finding your home type, if you're a single family, condo, townhouse, the features, size, bedrooms, yard, garage. What are you wanting in your house? Where are you wanting it located? The grocery stores and all that are around you. And also, we are going to set a budget, determining how much you can afford based on your pre-approval. This is basically when you send in your pre-approval, all the information you put in there and the stuff that we find with your credit score is going to determine your rate and what kind of what your rate's going to be looking like. For the house that you're wanting to buy. Whatever you put your house as, if it's $400,000 house, whatever, all that stuff gets through the pre-approval. And from here, we're just defining of, what that's going to look like based off of what priorities and your budget that you want. So that rate's going to come into play. So.
Yeah, yeah, no, good stuff. It's that discovery call, right? We want to hear the goals, hear the needs, and do those things. And one of the
Mhm.
reasons why we talk about doing this first is we want to make sure before you ever get passed off to a real estate agent, you know what you're doing. We have your finances in order and ready to go. So, Nate, I given you the pre-approval. We got everything. What's the next thing we do here?
We are going to find, or you are going to find a real estate agent. That's the client. They're going to find a real estate agent. So there are a bunch of great real estate agents in the area. We know of a lot of great people that work under Hunter, but yeah, you're going to research some agents. You're going to get recommendations from friends and family, previous people who bought a house. I know families typically go with one or two real estate agents that they have in mind. So you can always read reviews and check credentials on websites. I know of a lot of great agents, but yeah, you're going to if you're find an agent, interview the agent, and then you're potentially will hire that agent that is a best fit for your wants and needs. So.
Yep, this is a big one. And one thing I just want to touch on here is having an agent and loan officer that work in sync and actually have that communication is going to be the biggest thing for you. Not just picking Joe Schmo off the street who's been, real maybe will close one or two deals. Nothing wrong with people who have closed one or two deals, but in this market, it takes a successful team to help make sure you are successful when home buying. You're making the biggest purchase of your life. Why put it in the hands of people who don't know how to work together and do it
Exactly.
effectively? So, really good stuff. Nate, let's keep rock and rolling. All right, we're house hunting. Hey, real estate agents got all your needs and wants, looking for particular areas, school district, the whole thing. What are
Yeah.
these people kind of looking for? Just kind of lightly touch on the house hunting, just because it's not too much of our topic. But what are some of the things that you've learned?
Well, you're gonna on your the start of your house hunting, you're gonna look at places like Zillow, use online listings, 10 open houses, once you establish your budget, you're going to be able to start this house hunting process once the pre-approval comes through and basically we give you the green light. Yep, go shopping. So here, you search for homes, visit properties, and this is all just the usual stuff. You're scheduling showings with your agent, taking photos, going through that process of going in the house, finding your house shopping is what you're doing. So, but from there, you're going to evaluate your options that basically fit your needs and your budget. So,
Yep. I love it. Okay. Found the house. I'm
Find the
ready
house, we make an
to
offer.
go.
So,
Let's do it.
uh, so here you're going to determine your offer price, review comparable sales with your agent, consider condition of the home and market conditions. And if everything, this is the part where you like the house a whole lot, and you or you and your spouse, you or y'all are ready to make an offer. But and here, you submit your offer. You can negotiate for better counter offers, but ultimately, this is the process where you make your offer. So.
Now, you've listened to a couple of phone calls that we've had with clients going under contract, right? With
Mhm.
agents and the clients. What are one of the two things that you have heard about those? Figuring out monthly payment, figuring out, hey, what are we going to offer to make sure it's the best thing financially? What are just kind of things that you've heard in topics of conversation? How in depth do you feel like that has gone?
I think it goes pretty in depth. There's a lot of everybody wants the best offer, but you want to depending on everybody's different FHA, conventional, VA. I think those have a big impact on whether or not you can secure the house. So everybody's different when it comes down to this. I know the few calls we've had, we want to make sure that the offer is substantial enough to where the seller is going to want to go through with the offer. So, but depending on your loan type, I think that has a big impact on the offer or the kind of offer that you are making. I know negotiations, we all want to sell for the lowest price, but Hunter does a good job of taking care of that and making sure whatever he's saying, he's going to get you the lowest price. There's nothing to worry about, at least with Hunter. Other independent brokers, I couldn't tell you. I know that I'm working under Hunter, and he is true to his word. So um, I just know that everything we're doing, everything is true, and we're trying to work to make the best offer possible and for the lowest for yourself. So.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Let's keep digging. All right, under contract, appraisal's moving, or excuse me, offers accepted. We're moving. Talk about the inspection, right? Not a whole lot. Real estate agent call, hey, let's get the inspection ordered, get it moving. Just give me a couple
Mhm.
details on what happens in this process.
Yeah, just a few details here. You're hiring an inspector, making sure the house is going to get inspected right. You're going to be what your ideal thoughts are on the house. Make sure it's all just checked, basically. Your agent can recommend reputable inspectors. Here, you're going to schedule an appointment with that inspector to inspect the house. Um, you need to intend the inspection. This is a big one. I think it's always great if you're going to be present with this. I know with my family, the previous inspections we've had, we've always been there. I thought this was very important so that you can understand what's going on. If there's any questions with the inspection, you ask your inspector, this, and it would be a great point to kind of learn kind of what the inspector is going through, how they inspect. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, it
uh,
is, and it's just, I mean, it's they're checking everything,
mhm.
plumbing, electricity. I mean, everything start to finish. They want to take a look at it, make sure this property's in good standing. So when you move in, there's not any surprises.
Yeah, no
So
surprises. That's what you're not, you want to make sure that there are no surprises. Yeah. And if there's anything that there are surprises, you want to be there to see him catch it, so.
totally, I
Yeah, and
agree.
then just the review, the report, asset or assess any issues, negotiate repairs or credits with the seller if necessary. So,
Love it. All right. So offers accepted, inspections in, we're rocking and rolling. First three things we're doing, and this is something our team does all within 24 hours of going under contract, right? Some people take up 2, 3, 4 days. You go under contract, we want to get this thing moving. So tell me, what is the buyer going to expect from the lenders, right? After that process.
yeah. We're going to expect a complete loan, completing the loan application. We're going to make sure that that is done and provide any updated financial documents to your lender. That's what you're going to need to do. I know this is where the time comes into play. So if you're very efficient on, if I know that most first-time home buyers, this is where the struggle comes in, and so this is why this presentations here for you. Uh, we want to make sure that if you're up to date on what you got to submit in with financial documents to in submitting those, your um, W-2, all those tax documents. We want to make sure if you're good on submitting those and getting those in quick, we can close even faster. So
Yep.
yeah, and the interest rate, we're going to lock that in. The appraisal, the lender will order an
Well, so let's
appraisal.
stop there real quick
Yeah,
and go
yeah,
back.
yeah. Go.
Locking in interest rate. Okay. What exactly does locking in interest rate mean? Whenever we go under contract, I'm gonna lock in interest rate. What exactly does that mean?
So basically, we're going to find the best interest rate based on all your credentials, basically. And this can be anywhere. I think 6.5 is kind of the average at the moment. Um, Everybody's different though, based off your FICO score and your basically your pre-approval stuff that we go through. All this is going to be different, but when we lock in that interest rate, it is going to be the best interest rate for you and what your desire or needs are. You can always refinance, but when we lock that in, it's secure. We submit it in, and that's going to be your interest rate. And Hunter can, if you need to harp more on that, you
Yeah.
can.
So let's touch on it, right? I think this is a really good talking point. People don't actually understand what's going on with the market, right? And truthfully, it's not their job to do so either. It's the originator's job. So let's touch on it real fast. So here's the market, right? So market's moving every day. One of the things that we like to touch on whenever we are looking at interest rates is mortgage-backed securities essentially move off of something called a 10-year treasury note, which is a bond, right? You can Google 10-year treasury. Look, it already pulls up right there. Here's the set, right? So red is good. That means the market's going down. Green is bad. That means the market's going up. In this scenario here, green is actually good and red is bad. So looking at it, here's our average 30-year fixed mortgage rates right now across the US. Now, don't take this in consideration because there's a lot of different things that go into it, including down payment. This is actually 25% down payment. So average 30-year fixed rate on a conventional loan is 7.06, FHA 6.5, jumbos 7.25. It seems a little bit high to me. But whenever we look at this, is interest rates can be locked anywhere from 8 days to 180 days, really. Okay, so whenever you lock that interest rate means that whenever the market's moving like this, rates can change every single day. They could change by the hour if they wanted to. Back in the COVID times, we were having 10, 15 rate changes a day. Rates are going up, rates are going down. And once you lock that in, that means your rates and fees are set in stone based off of that market. So once you do that and the market goes up the next day, well, if you were locked in, you're already protected to do so. So that's a really, really good talking point. I'm making this thing available for everybody. So I like that. Good job, Nate.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
So
keep digging. Appraisal. All right.
yeah, so appraisal, basically your lender will order an appraisal form, and you're going to provide any additional documents, submit any additional financial information requested by your lenders if there's anything else Hunter's going to need. And then loan underwriting. The lender will underwrite and review uh, um, your application and home appraisal to prove the loan.
Yep.
Basically, yeah, this process is the underwriting process. This is kind of getting into, again, we're just finalizing your loan. This is our side, the underwriter, the lender. This is our side of the things that we got to do. But the again, the quickest that you can be on. This is what's great about independent brokers is we're always available for being in contact. But if you have any questions or you don't know what to submit in, just ask. They Hunter deals with a lot of a lot of first time home buyers, and the quickest way you can get your information in, the quickest way you can lock in the rate, and the quickest way you can get into closing on your future house. So,
How many times have you seen me argue with an underwriter in the last 6 weeks?
oh my goodness, he's trying to pick and pick at him as much as he can to get he's for your benefit, solely for your benefit, and it's really great and this is just from me. I've known Hunter a long time, but this is seriously something great that he does. He's fighting for you all the time, so there's not one moment he's not.
I think your first day for like 4 hours, I was arguing with an underwriter, and you're
Yeah.
you're sitting here wondering what in the world is Hunter talking about right now.
Uh-huh.
And at the end of it, we ended up winning, and obviously the clients closed. But think of us like what we tell people is a loan officer or an experienced loan officer does about 15 different jobs. First off, you're a firefighter. Okay, you're always putting out fires and problems. Number one, you're a financial advisor. You're a therapist in some scenarios, right? You're a lawyer.
Hmm.
Think of us on your side. And the more information and more trust that you put into us, the more information we have to fight for you, right? And that's our
Yeah.
whole team, right? That's everybody on
Yeah.
our team is fighting to make this thing successful. So
I
good stuff.
remember I remember when you said you got to be a utility player. If there's any interns or anybody that's looking to get in this business, like you said, you're fighting a lot of different things. You got to do a whole lot of different things at one time. There's a lot of you can get distracted very easily, but you got to be a utility player, You got to be on your feet.
Definitely. All right, let's keep crushing. Closing preparations. Number one document that people are going to sign at closing and before closing, something called a closing disclosure. What's a closing disclosure really do, or what's it really say?
It is outlining your final terms and the cost of your loan. This is what you are. This is basically you get this handed back to you, and this is what your um the costs that you're going to be making on the house or on the loan, the mortgage. You really need to, as this other bullet point, you need to make sure everything is clear. And if there's any questions you have, you need to get in contact with Hunter or your lender and make sure that everything is clear and there is no questions at all.
Yep. And that's a big thing. It lines out penny for penny every single fee you're paying from top to bottom. So love
Right.
it. All right, CD, we get the cleared to close. We're ready to rock and roll. What are we doing
Hmm.
right before we go closing?
Yeah, we're gonna conduct a final walkthrough, check the property and make sure it's in agreed condition, from any questions that you have on the inspection. All that is the condition needs to be very good. Verify any agreed upon repairs or that need to be made. Basically, we're just getting the nicks and crannies out of this thing. And then we're preparing for closing, obtain homeowners insurance, arrange for utilities to be transferred to your name, gather necessary funds for closing costs and down payment. So,
Yep, that's exactly it. Love it. All right. Closing prep, closing day. You would go to the title company. You have your check in hand, driver's license in hand, ready to sign your life away with 130 documents that you're going to be looking at.
a
How does it
lot, yeah.
feel? How's it go? Pretty smooth.
Yeah, that we want it to be real smooth, that's for sure. First time home buyers, I know everything is you don't know what you don't know, right? So, but this is what this is for. You can go back and whoever needs this, we can send them a copy and all this stuff. But closing day, you're attending your closing meeting. You know, uh, Pay closing costs. This is going to be part of I believe you're going to get something at the beginning to find, your closing costs, your property tag, all that stuff is going to be known beforehand. And then you're going to receive your keys, all once all documents are signed and funds are distributed, you'll receive your keys to your new home. And, this is hopefully is just as easy as it can go. So,
That's right. Sign your life away, pay your money, bam. Keys in
yeah.
hand, ready to go. Let's talk about after closing, moving in, settling into home ownership. How's it look like?
Yeah. Yeah, this is just, this is a little bit extra, but you got to wrap it up with a nice bow and a nice bow tie, right? So we're gonna move in, schedule your move in and set up your home to your desires, and settle into home ownership. You're gonna change your address with your post office, update your driver's license and other documents, and start any planning or renovations or improvements. But the top two, the changing your address and your post office and updating your driver's license, these are things that you're going to be that people don't think about, but those are stuff you're going to be doing for sure. Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
just after closing.
I'm gonna add one right here. After you get this, I don't think we talked about this, Nate, but after you get your driver's license updated, number one thing you want to do, especially in the state of Texas, is file your homestead exemption with your county. If you don't, your taxes, your property taxes can go up every single year. And this is the best way to not only help prevent them from skyrocketing over 10% of value, but number two is it does help you with a little bit of savings, which is huge too. So reach out to our team to help make sure that you guys get that done.
For sure.
But this was a really big piece. We're congratulations, on the new home, going through everything. Here's our contact information to make sure hey, you now have received the art of home ownership and really gotten the keys. So, Nate, it's been awesome, man, to watch you absolutely crush it this summer and get to learn the process. And now all your friends who are home buying going to be in the future, hey, you are,
Yeah,
going to be ready to coach
I'm a
them
step
through.
ahead. I got
Yep.
them. I got their backs. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. No, I love it. But Nate, thanks again. Hey, this was awesome. If you're a first time home
Thank
buyer
you,
out
Hunter.
there, reach out to us. Our team is here to serve. HB Mortgage team, powered and ready to go. Unfortunately, in this industry, we don't ever stop. So if you ever need something, reach out to us. Super proud of Nate and everything that he's done this summer, and looking forward to watching you grow in the future.
Yeah, thank you, Hunter. Thank you so much for the opportunity.